We are live now, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Shrotriya Brahmanishta Sadguru, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, and the entire Guru Parampara. Today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani by Acharya Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Sarvavedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. In the last set of shlokas and the next coming set of shlokas, Acharya Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada is now dealing with the very serious points on the Samadhi state itself. Samadhi Nirupana is going on. Last time we had stopped at the fairly larger shloka number 354, which starts as Ashanto Dantaha Param Uparataha Kshanti Yuktaha Samadhim Kurvan Nityam Kalayati Swasya Sarvatma Bhavan. Bhavam Tena Avidya Timira Janitan Sadhu Dattva Vikalpan Brahmakrutya Nivasati Sukham Nishkriyo Nirvikalpaha. We had stopped there. So, in that shloka, Acharya has made so clear all that is to be said in words, in communication to the earnest disciple. The Acharya has made it whatever possible to make it clear in simple way, in simple terms, or in simple, using simple Sanskrit words in the form of a beautiful shloka here. So the mumukshu or the jijnasu of the highest order, he ultimately, by constantly settling down in the samadhi state during this one-pointed concentrative meditation all the time, as told by his guru, following the guru's injunctions and guru's upadesha, the personal upadesha of the guru given to the disciple is called as aptavakya. The direct upadesha, instruction given by the guru to the disciple is called aptavakya. So any mumukshu, uttama adhikari, with all shraddha and bhakti, total belief, utterly he believes his guru's words to be true, 100%, and considers his guru as none other than God himself, Paramatma himself. And when he follows all the instructions given by the guru, he will reach the highest state of meditation. And while continuing the sadhana, the spiritual sadhana, without break, in the sense, by completely immersing as what we call kaya, vacha, manasa, by totally involving with earnestness, with that perseverance, with that zeal, with that full effort, with determination, then a day will come, by the grace of the Guru, the jnana itself will dawn, realization will dawn, so that the avidya, the primal ignorance that I am the body, that Sharirabhimana, that Maya is totally cut or destroyed, and such a wise, learned mumukshu, ultimately he will realize himself, his own Atman, in his own self. And then he remains in that Brahmakara Vritti all the time. Brahma Akrutya Sukham Nivasati, the last line, what Acharya says. Sukham Nivasati Brahma Krutya. That means in the Brahmakara Vritti, he remains. That is, in the beatific state of Brahma, Parabrahma, Paramatma, Sadvastu, he remains. He understands and realizes, experiences the truth first hand by own direct experience, aparoksha jnana, aparoksha anubhuti as it is called. And he will remain in that state without moving here and there. The mind gets stilled because it is already destroyed in the parimarthic sense. There is manonasha in the spiritual sense. So there is no more fickleness of the mind, no more vikalpas or imaginations or aspirations in the mind. He remains in that state as nishkriya, nishkriyam and nirvikalpa. So actionless and motionless in the prashanta manas state. So that is known as Brahmakara Vritti, as the sentence here. Brahma Krutya Nivasati Sukham Nishkriyo Nirvikalpa. So here Mahaswami Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, while explaining this shloka in a detailed way in his exposition, finally Mahaswami writes, or he says, that the darkness called avidya, when it is destroyed and the wise man, the person, realizes and remains in that beatific state of Brahma, Brahmakara Vritti, the grief and the sorrow and the doubts and imaginations, aspirations, desires, and all the vasanas will be destroyed. They will go away. So in that sense, when the action as a result of kama, desires, when the kama itself is gone, the desires have gone, there is no action. So Mahaswami writes further that, so when the action is destroyed, thoughts are destroyed. Action is destroyed means that I am the doer, that bhava. Nanu anno bhava ideyalla sharirabhimana, adu sampurnavagi ಭಸ್ಮವಾದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಆತ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಉಳ್ಳವನಾಗುತ್ತಾನೆ, ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯನಾಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆಗಳು ತಾನಾಗಿ ಸುಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿವೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೊಸ ಯಾವ ಆಸೆಗಳೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವ ಹೋದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಮಾಯಾಬಂಧನ ಹೋದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೆಗಳು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ವಿಕಲ್ಪಗಳು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅವಕಾಶವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಸತ್ವ ಗುಣಾತೀತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸತ್ವಗುಣಕ್ಕೂ ಮೀರಿದಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಆ ಗುಣಾತೀತಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂತ ವೇದಾಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ತಲುಪಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತತೆ, ಕೇವಲ ಸ್ಥಿರತೆ. ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಸದಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಘನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಾಕ್ಯ. Prajnanam Brahma is one of the famous Mahavakyas of Upanishads. So, such a person remains in that state of prajnana. So, he is called as Sthita Prajna. Now, he has established, Sthita means he has established himself in Prajna, that total Chit, that primordial knowledge, that awareness. He establishes himself in that prajna. So that prajna is nothing but Brahma itself, Parabrahma Vastu itself. So the Upanishad is very clear. One of the Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma. It says. Same points that Lord uses in Bhagavad Gita also. He uses the best beautiful word called Sthita Prajna in the second chapter itself. You have to go through the second chapter called Sankhya Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna asks the question that, Lord, you are talking about this, a new concept. What is this concept of Sthita Prajnata? You are talking about Sthita Prajna. Who is this Sthita Prajna? So the word is used by Lord himself. A jnani is called as Sthita Prajna. And Arjuna goes on asking, who is such a Sthita Prajna? How to identify such a Sthita Prajna among us? How a Sthita Prajna means a jnani. How a jnani behaves, how he sits, how he talks, how he moves in the world, how to identify the nature of a jnani, what is his behavior. See, in all these questions Arjuna will ask one by one. And the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, shloka number, I think, 26 onwards, the detailed exposition is there by the Lord himself. Now, there's entirely a different session of Bhagavad Gita would be. So, from shloka number 26 in the second chapter, Bhagavad Gita, please, once again, I request all my Guru Bandhus to earnestly go through the answers given by Lord himself, Paramatma himself, about who is Sthita Prajna. That is Jnani. So same, see, the Jnani there is called by so many terms. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord uses so many epitaphs and words to denote who is a Jnani. He says, Samadarshi, the word is used. Tattvadarshi, a word is used. Tattvajnani, a word is used. Pandita, a word is used. Buddha, word is used in connection with the Jnani in various shlokas, in various chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So Mahaswami writes here, so when the action is destroyed, when the noble learned person in the Samadhi state realizes the self, he remains in Brahmakara Vritti, he becomes Nishkriya and Nirvikalpa. He remains actionless. So for that, so Mahaswami writes here, when the action is destroyed, the thoughts are destroyed. No more generation of wants. I want this, I want that, I want to go there, I want to come here. I want my people to do this, I want my people to do that. I want to earn more, or I want all these, such thoughts, generation thoughts, one after another. So such thoughts, vikalpas, are destroyed, and thereby, when the thoughts are destroyed, that is means actionless, nishkriya. When the thoughts are destroyed, you remain nishkriya in that paramarthic sense. So when the thoughts are destroyed, the vasanas also get reduced, your innate tendencies. Vasanas, samskaras, they will propel you to do certain things, by nature. Instinctive behavior, as it is called. Your instincts are there. Every individual has a specific, particular set of instincts. Accordingly, he propels himself towards action. So those instincts, as it is called, they are nothing but, in Vedanta, the word vasana is used. Samskara, the word is used. So when the thoughts are destroyed, vasanas are reduced, and finally the vasanas will go away. That is called vasanakshaya. And this vasanakshaya will lead ultimately to liberation. Liberation. He becomes mukta. Mahaswami says, such a person becomes mukta, or it's also called jivan mukta. See, the word jivan mukta in the real sense in Vedantic terms, as Mahaswami writes here in his Bhashyam on the Viveka Chudamani, who is Jivan Mukta? The one who has realized his true nature while still living in the body. The one who has realized Atman, that he is Atma Swarupa. In simple words, one who has merged himself in Brahma Padartha. One who knows no more that he is the body, he is the Pratyagatma himself, ever shining. He is neither born nor is going to die. He is as he is, eternal. So that realization means he becomes mukta, free. He is free of bondage. So once you realize while still alive in the body, you become free. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥವರು ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದವರು ಅಥವಾ ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಿದವನು ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ವೇದಾಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಮುಕ್ತ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಆತನಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮರಣ ಬರೋದರೊಳಗೆ ಈ ಶರೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಆತ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಸಚಿದಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏಕಮೇವ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ನಾನೇ ನಾನಾಗಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆತ ಕೇವಲನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಲೋನ್. ಕೇವಲ the word means he remains alone. There is no other person, there is no other thing, there is no other entity other than him. So there is no second. He remains himself alone. That is called kevala. So from the word kevala, aloneness, now another word has come, kaivalya. So kaivalya means mukti. So the person is called jivan mukta. So all jnanis, all mahatmans, all parama purushottamas who have realized their true nature in this birth itself, they are all paramajnanis, sthita prajnas and jivan muktas. Now we'll continue with the next set of shlokas now, 355 onwards. So Acharya continues the same line of thoughts in the next set of shlokas, emphasizing the importance of samadhi state, that one-pointed concentrative meditation. See, one thing we have to remember very clearly. By entering into that samadhi state, or the state of samadhi, or by entering into the deeper levels of meditation, it always, please remember, it happens by the grace of Almighty or Lord or Paramatma or Guru, Sadguru himself. Our initial efforts are always there to make ourselves to enter into the mode of meditation. All our actions are guided by Dvaita Bhava only, in a duality mode only. See, when I sit for meditation or dhyana, I will think that I am doing the dhyana. I will say that now I am entering into the dhyana. After that, I will say that I have finished my dhyana. So as long as this feeling of this ego is there, Sharira Abhimana or Sukshma Sharira Abhimana is there, see, this is happening in the stage of duality. I, as the truk is different, the sadhya is different. For that, I am doing the sadhana to reach to the sadhya. Sadhya is the goal. The sadhana is dhyana. Who is performing the sadhana? Myself. So this duality is persisting. So by entering deep into meditation, samadhi state may be experienced. Again, we have to remember, it happens only by the grace of God or the grace of Sadguru, who is Antaryami himself, inside, beside. by the grace of Sadguru or God or Lord, that experience occurs inside. That special experience of diving deeper and deeper and deeper into the levels of concentrated, one-point concentrated meditation. Yes. But that itself will not, see, very clear cut, we have to remember. Diving deeper into Samadhi level means by itself, entering into Samadhi itself will not lead to Kaivalya, moksha, salvation, realization, emancipation. Only in that state, these mental states are only, they are subsidiary, secondary, at most of importance to help to proceed further in the line. Ultimately, it is the dawn of the jnana itself. Ultimately, it is only by jnana, the true knowledge, when it flashes, when the jnana flashes, means by the grace of Antaryami or Sadguru or Lord, that realization flashes inside in the deeper levels of the caves of the heart, or buddhi as it is called. Only when it flashes, then the ajnana, the hridaya granthi, the knot of ajnana, the knot of ignorance is cut. Means the maya is cut. So then realization occurs. Brahma sakshatkara occurs. Atma sakshatkara occurs. So Atma sakshatkara or Brahma sakshatkara in simple, or realization in simple, we have to always remember, it only happens by the grace of Atma itself. It happens by the grace of Paramatma himself. It happens by the grace of a Lord himself. It happens by the grace of Sadguru himself, not by any more personal efforts. So we have to remember these distinctions, very important distinctions, very clearly. Otherwise, a lot of confusions will set in. So with that, we'll go to the shlokas. Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam shrotradi chetah swamaham chidatmani taeva mukta bhavapasha bandhair nanyetu parokshya kathabhidayinah. Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam shrotradi chetah swamaham chidatmani taeva mukta bhavapasha bandhair nanyetu parokshya kathabhidayinah. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು, ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಉತ್ತಮ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ವಿವೇಕ ವೈರಾಗ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದಂತಹ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿರುಚಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಫಲವನ್ನ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ತಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳನ್ನ, ಕಣ್ಣು ಅಥವಾ ಕಿವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮೂಗು, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಬಾಹ್ಯೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ತಮ್ಮ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳನ್ನ, ಇಂದ್ರಿಯ ಸಮೂಹಗಳನ್ನ, ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ನೋಡೋ ರೀತಿ, ಅನುಭವಿಸೋ ರೀತಿ, ಅವು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಕೈವಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ತಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮತ್ತು ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂತಹವನು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂತಹವಳು, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಅಹಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಯ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಚಿತ್ತ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಚಿದಾತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಲಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಮಾಹಿತರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂಥವರೇ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಪಾರಾಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಕ್ತರಾಗುವಂತ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥವರೇ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಉಳಿದವರಿಗೆ ಕೇವಲ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ, ಪಾರೋಕ್ಷ ಕಥಾಭಿಧಾಯಿನಃ ನ ಅನ್ಯೇ ತು ಪಾರೋಕ್ಷ ಕಥಾವಿಧಾಯಿನಃ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೇವಲ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ, ಮರಳು ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮನಮೋಹಕ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇತ್ತರಿಗೆ ಕೇವಲ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳನ್ನು ಓದಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಸುಲಲಿತವಾಗಿ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಮನಮುಟ್ಟುವಂತೆ ಶ್ರೋತ್ರಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾವೀಣ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವ ವೇದ್ಯ ಶೂನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಗುರುಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಗುರುವಿನ ಆಪ್ತ ವಾಕ್ಯದಂತೆ ನಡೆಯದೆ ಶ್ರವಣ ಮನನ ನಿಧಿಧ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡದೆ ಕೇವಲ ತೋರಿಕೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ತರದ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ವಿಧಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮನಮೋಹಕ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಆಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉದ್ದಾಮ ಪಂಡಿತರು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇತ್ತರು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸ್ವಂತ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಈಸ್ distinguishing very clearly. What is that? Ye pravilapya bahyam shrotradicheta swamaham chidatmani samahita taeva mukta bhavabandha pashaihi. Only such exalted, only such real mumukshus who have followed the injunctions of the Guru by proper shravana, by proper listening, manana, by proper contemplation and nididhyasana, and by following the path of dhyana as shown by the Guru, dictated by the Guru, with all shraddha and bhakti. Only such people, such elevated souls, such noble souls, such wise people who are with conviction, who have got viveka and vairagya, whose desires are subdued and who can control their organs, sense organs, like the eyes and ears and nose and the taste, the tongue. Those who are in a position to control their sense organs, those who are in a position to control in the sense, to merge their own ego, ahankara, the mind, chitta and buddhi into their own self during meditation. So those who can completely merge all the externally sensuous feelings, experiences, and the mind and ego into the Atman itself during nididhyasana, during dhyana, which is the nature of chit, nature of pure awareness, nature of pure knowledge. Only such people are eligible to come out of the bondage, to come out of the samsara bandhana in this birth itself. Only such people are eligible for Atma Sakshat. Only such people are eligible for realization. Only such people become Jivan Muktas. And not the others, Acharya says. Not the others. Na anye tu paroksha kathabhidayinaha. Na anye tu paroksha kathabhidayinaha. Na. So, not the others. Others means those who indulge in bluff, those who go on mesmerizingly captivate the audience by giving beautiful lectures, beautiful discourses, by taking so many examples, explaining the concept in the various ways, by using the wonderful vocabulary, so that captivate the audience, captivate the mind, and the audience will feel that the person who is giving the lecture or the discourse is such a wonderful, exalted soul. He knows everything. So, anybody who can generate such feelings only with their intellectual understanding, without the personal effort, without being, party, or without actually hearing aptavakyas from the Sadguru, a realized Brahmajnani, without doing shravana, without listening, and without manana, without reflecting on what the Sadguru has told him, and without doing nididhyasa, without doing himself, and without direct personal, direct experience. That means without the grace of the Lord, Paramatma himself, without the grace of the Pratyekatma inside Antaryami itself, if they simply, without experience, if they go on telling and telling and telling and giving discourse about Brahmajnana, they will never be realized in this birth. They will never escape the bondage of samsara in this birth. Acharya is very, very clear. Only those eva mukta bhavapasha bandaihi na anyetu paroksha tatavidhayinah. Paroksha means anybody without direct experience. If they simply talk about dhyana, about samadhi, about atma sakshatkara, it is only a talk only, a mesmerizing, spellbound talk. So neither it will help the audience. Maybe sometimes the audience may catch some important aspects here, but it will not help the person who is giving the discourse. So it is all a wasted effort in this part. So they never come out of the samsara. That is the point here. Upadi vedat swayameva vidyate chopadhyapohe swayameva kevalaha tasmat upadir vilayaya vidvan vaset sada akalpa samadhi nishtaya. Upadhi vedat swayameva vidyate chopadhyapohe swayameva kevalaha tasmat upadir vilayaya vidvan vaset sada akalpa samadhi nishtaya. In this shloka, the word upadhi Acharya is mentioning again. All these words have been used earlier in Viveka Chudamani. These are all Vedantic words. We have to always remember upadhi word refers to generally in short, in simple language. What is upadhi? Upadhi means ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇದು ವೇದಾಂತಿಕ, ವೇದಾಂತದ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಪದಪ್ರಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಇದನ್ನು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಮೊದಲೇ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮರ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಉಪಾಧಿ? ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಪ್ಪು ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆ, ತಪ್ಪು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹ ಶರೀರ. ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂತಹವನು. ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು. ನಾನು ಗಂಡು, ನಾನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು, ನಾನು ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ, ನಾನು ಮದುವೆ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋವನು, ನಾನು ತರುಣ, ನಾನು ಮುದುಕ, ನಾನು ವೃದ್ಧ, ನಾನು ರೋಗಿ, ನಾನು ಬಲಾಢ್ಯ, ನಾನು ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ. ಸೊ ಈ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ. ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೋ. So I can go on reeling about my personal information. Like a ready reckoner, it is recorded in my brain. So I go on, my father is so and so, my mother is so and so. I am so and so, I am so much of years old now. I am working here, I am a student there. I am a married person. I am still a bachelor searching for a girl or searching for a boy. I am working in MNC. I am a very ordinary person. I am a very poor fellow. I am a very rich man. I own so much. So this feeling, I, who is this I? It refers to the body-mind complex. So we have imposed something which is really not there on this. So I consider this as myself. Upadhi. Superimposed, in other words. Upadhi ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ವೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಿಜ ಅಂತ ನಂಬಿರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಉಪಾಧಿ. ಆತ್ಮನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಹೊಲಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮೈ ರಿಯಲ್ ನೇಚರ್. See, I am Atma Swarup, nameless and faceless and formless, and I am eternal. Neither I am born nor I will die. Neither I am mind nor I am chitta nor I am buddhi. I am beyond the clutches of tamoguna. I am beyond the clutches of Rajoguna, guna of action. I am beyond even the clutches of Sattva guna, Sattva, all positive aspects of life. To lead a beautiful, gentlemanly life, all the positive aspects come under Sattva guna. So I am even beyond that Sattva guna. Only when you cross over all the three gunas, you become Gunatita. So I am that. So how many of us will remember that all the time, 24/7? That cannot. By hearting, by rote. By rote, as we call her, by hearting. Yes, just like a boy tells in the school, by hearting, the answer, when a question is asked by the teacher, it is not simply by hearting and saying, no, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the buddhi, I am not this, I am not that, I am pure Atma Swarupa. It is fine. But there is no direct experience. We are simply regurgitating the words which we have heard from the books. We are echoing the words. We are recreating the same words which we have heard during the discourse. It is not. So, Upadhi refers to my superimposing feeling all the time, 24/7, in the waking state, in the dream state, even in the deep sleep state. In all the three avasthas, your Upadhi is tagged on. In the sense, only in the deep sleep, all the Upadhis are gone actually. But in dream and waking state, you are tagged on. So Upadhi is superimposition, wrong imposition. Thinking that I am the body is the basic Upadhi, false identity. That is a basic mistake or pramada. So Acharya says here, Upadhi Vedat Swayameva Vidyate Chopadhyapohe Swayameva Kevalah. Chopadhyapohe, if you split. Chopadhyapohe, if you split. Upadhi apohe cha. Because of this upadhi, superimposition, because of this duality that I am different from you, you are different from her, she is different from this and this is different from that. So I, you, they, he, she, it, all these distinctions are result of duality, Dvaita Bhava. So when I say I am the body, automatically the duality sets in. The world is real to me. Everyone is different from me. This, that, he, she, you, me, they, all these things will come. So when Upadhi Vedat Swayameva Vidyate, what does it mean? So when this Bheda Drushti is nothing but duality. When this Bheda Drushti is gone, when the Upadhi is gone, when you realize yourself that you are not the body and the Upadhi also will go away, superimposition will go away, then Swayameva Vidyate. What does it mean? Upadhigala, because of, sorry, I put up in a wrong sense. Explain. Upadhi Vedat Swayameva Vidyate means because of superimposition, because of duality, I am different, you are different, like that. He is different, she is different. Swayameva Vidyate. Now you develop the sense of duality because of superimposition. ಉಪಾಧಿಯ ದೆಸೆಯಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಉಪಾಧಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು ಇಂಥವಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ, ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ, ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ, ದ್ವೈತ ಭಾವ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮರಣ ಬರೋ ತನಕ. ಮರಣ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಇರೋದೇನೆ, ಈ ಭೇದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇರೋದೆ. ಚೋಪಾಧ್ಯಪೋಹೆ ಸ್ವಯಮೇವ ಕೇವಲ च उपाधि अपोहे च. No, reverse, Acharya says. ಈ ಉಪಾಧಿಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಉಪಾಧಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಈ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನೇ ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಪೋಹೇಚ ಸ್ವಯಮೇವ ಕೇವಲ, ಆವಾಗ ನಾನು ನಾನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿತೇನೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವ. ಮುಂದೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಉಪಾಧಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ದ್ವೈತ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು ನಾನಾಗಿ ಕೇವಲ ನಾನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿದಾಗ, ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಲ್ತಾಗ, ನಾನು ಕೇವಲ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾಗ, ನಾನು ನಾನಾಗಿ ಕೇವಲ ಆತ್ಮನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿತೇನೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಏಕಮೇವ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯಂ. ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯ. ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಕೇವಲ ಕೇವಲ ನಾನು ನಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೂ ನಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಉಳಿತೇನೆ. ಉಪಾಧಿ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಉಪಾಧಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ತಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಉಪಾಧೇರ್ ವಿಲಯಾಯ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ವಸೇತ್ ಸದಾ ಅಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ನಿಷ್ಠಯ. ತಸ್ಮಾತ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್, ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ತಿಳಿದವನು, ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಉಪಾಸನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ, ಆತ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಉಪಾಧೇರ್ ವಿಲಯಾಯ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಸದಾ ಅಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯ ವಸೇತ್. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಆತ ಆತ್ಮಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತ ನಿರಂತರ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಆ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶವನ್ನು ಆತ ಮನದಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಬಲ ಬಂದಷ್ಟು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹದವಾದಷ್ಟು, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಕ್ಷಯವಾದಷ್ಟು, ಮನಸ್ಸು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯವಾದಷ್ಟು, ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮುಳುಗದಷ್ಟು, ಆ ಪಕ್ವತೆ ಬಂದ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಭೇದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ says here, by association with the upadhi, wrong calculation, superimposing that I am the body. So by the association with the wrong identification that I am the body, one always remains in duality. I am different, you are different. I am seeing duality only, Dvaita Bhava only. The world is real, everything is real. I am so and so, you are so and so. I am a man, I am a woman, you are a woman, you are a man, you are a boy, you are a old man. I am a householder, you are not a householder. I am a sannyasi, you are not a sannyasi. See, all this is upadhi bheda, bheda drishti. Duality remains. Once this superimposition is removed, when the upadhi is removed completely, cut completely, swayameva kevalaha. Upadhi apohecha swayameva kevalaha. When the upadhis are removed, when the upadhi is cut, when I realize myself that I am no more the body, by first-hand experience, by personal experience, by constant perseveration and effort and meditation, ultimately in the meditative state, in the deep meditative state, only by the grace of Antaryami, Lord or Sadguru residing in the heart, he will bless. And because of his grace or blessing, you automatically realize that Atma will shine itself. Paramatma will shine himself. When all the upadhis are gone, you become a big zero. Your ego is destroyed, your mind is destroyed, your upadhi is destroyed, and you remain in the pure self-shining state of Atma. Brahma Bhava, Brahmatma Bhava. So that is a state where Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava is realized. That is a state where your own personal experience, all that is remembered so far in life is totally destroyed, and there is nothing left to call you as you only. There is nothing left. No mind, no buddhi, no ego, nothing is there. You remain in the beatific state of Brahmakar. That means your Pratyagatma is nothing but the self-shining, ever existing all the time, only as a one Akhanda Vastu, one Aja, Amara, Nirvikalpa, Nishkala, Nishkriya Vastu called Brahmapadartha. You remain as that only, as alone. Upadi apohe, swayameva kevalaha. Kevala means you are the only one. There is no more identification that you are the body. No more feeling of the mind generating one desire after another. All desires are gone. Vasanakshaya has occurred. Desires have gone. Your mind is pristine, pure. Prashanta manas, Nishkalmasha manas. Even you have gone beyond Sattva Guna. Long back you have given up Tamoguna and Rajoguna, and now even you have gone beyond Sattva Guna. Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva. The purest of the pure, Sattva Guna. So it's called Gunatit. Transcending even Sattva Guna, along with Rajo and Tamo Guna, is called Gunatita. Transcending all the three qualities, attributes. The word quality used in English term to denote Guna is wrong actually. By want of any other word, the word quality is, you become qualityless. Gunatita means you become qualityless. That means you can't be codified, you can't be identified. You are in that state, only you, only you, only you, there is nothing else. An Ajnani can never understand. A person who has not realized can never even imagine what is that state, what is that beatific state, what is that Prashanta Manas state, because his mind is active. He is full of vasanas. Vasanakshaya has not occurred. So, that's what Acharya says. So, when the upadhis are removed, one remains alone. Kevala. Kevala. So, remaining alone means Brahma Sakshatkar. Remaining alone means liberation. Remaining alone means emancipation. Remaining alone means salvation. Means you have escaped while still in the body living. You have escaped the cycle of birth and death. ಕೇವಲನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿಯೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಪದ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಕೈವಲ್ಯ, ಜ್ಞಾನಾದೇವ ಕೈವಲ್ಯಂ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಮಹಾವಚನ. ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇವಲನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿಯೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಖಂಡಾಕಾರನಾಗಿ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯನಾಗಿ ಏಕವಾಗಿ ಏಕರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಏಕರಸನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಕಾರ ವೃತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತು, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಯಾವ ಶಬ್ದ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಶಬ್ದಗಳಾಗಿ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ಇರುವುದು ಒಂದೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆ ಒಂದು ನೇರ ಅನುಭವ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕೇವಲ ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಪದ. ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೇವಲದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕೈವಲ್ಯ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ತಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಉಪಾಧೇರ್ ವಿಲಯಾಯ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ವಸೇತ್ ಸದಾ ಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ನಿಷ್ಠಯ. So that is why Acharya gives the injunction in the last chapter. Tasmat upadhe vilayaya vidwan sada akalpa samadhinishtaya vaset. Acharya is ordering the Shishya. Look, my dear disciple, you are a Uttama Adhikari, you have understood now everything, all my Hitavachanas, so you must remain all the time in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Remain all the time means not literal. You must practice regularly, routinely this state of meditation. You must be in the state of dhyana. It will lead to Nirvikalpa Samadhi by the grace of Guru himself or the Lord himself. So you have to always, constantly put in the effort. So the Viveki, the learned one, the Mumukshu, Uttama Adhikari, always should engage himself in Samadhi state. Always he should try to establish himself in Samadhi state for destruction of the Upadhi. That means to liberate himself. to realize himself. That is the point. Next, Acharya takes a beautiful example which all of us know very well. It's a famous example in Vedanta. Next. Sati sakto naro yati satbhavam ekanishchaya Itako brahmaram dhyayan brahmaratvaya kalpate. Sati sakto naro yati sadbhavam ekanishchaya Itako brahmaram dhyayan brahmaratvaya kalpate. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಕೀಟ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ರಿಮಿ, ಒಂದು ಹುಳು, ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಅಂತ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಲಾರ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್. ಈ ಕೀಟಗಳು, ದುಂಬಿಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಚಿಟ್ಟೆಗಳು, bees and beetles and the housefly, butterflies, even mosquitoes, these insects, they are called in Sanskritam, the krimi. The young ones are called Keeta, or they are called as Brahmara. Brahmara means bees, as we call. So the Brahmara word is used in Vedanta, denotes various types of bees. And even sometimes it's a very common word. So in Vedanta, there is an example of what is called Brahmara Keeta Nyaya or Keeta Brahmara Nyaya. We'll come to that. Acharya is talking here, taking this example. Just like, the young hatched from the eggs, the young larva, the young worm, constantly, after some time, after feeding constantly, it starts thinking about the bee itself, about the fly itself, and finally it becomes the same bee or the fly of its own type. Just like that example, Kitako Brahmaram Dhyayan Brahmaratvaya Kalpate. So the larva constantly starts thinking about the butterfly, or the bee, and finally it converts itself, it transforms itself, this young worm, which is different in appearance and shape, converts itself into the bee or butterfly by constantly thinking about. Just like that. Sati sakto naro yati sadbhavam ekanishthaya. Sati here refers to Brahma, Paramatma, Advaya Paramatma, Brahma Vastu, Paramartha Vastu, Lord, in the word, Ishvara, all these words. Sati here. Sati sakto naro yati sadbhavam ekanishthaya. Ekanishthaya sadbhavam naro yati sati saktaha. So, by intensely, by intensely concentrating in meditation on the real Brahma Vastu, Brahma Padartha, Atma Vastu, by such constant contemplation, constant remembering, and concentrating and contemplating on reality or the real Vastu, Brahma Padartha, the person becomes the same Brahma Padartha. So by constantly concentrating on real, anyone will attain the real itself. Just like the worm, by constantly thinking, becomes the bee. Simple example. Acharya is now talking. Now, the next sloka also further explains the same point, same example. ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಶಬ್ದ ಇದೆ, ಕೀಟ ಭ್ರಮರ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಥವಾ ಭ್ರಮರ ಕೀಟ ನ್ಯಾಯ. ಈ ಪದ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಕೀಟ ಭ್ರಮರ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಥವಾ ಭ್ರಮರ ಕೀಟ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಹುಳು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಮಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಒಡೆದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ತನ್ನ ಆ ಮೊದಲಿನ ರೂಪ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಭ್ರಮರ ರೂಪ, ಆ ಭ್ರಮರದ ರೂಪದ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಚಿಂತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ತನ್ನ ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಮೊದಲು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ತಿಂದು ಬೆಳೆದು ದಷ್ಟಪುಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೀಟ, ಈ ವರ್ಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಹುಳು, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ತಿನ್ನೋ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ತಾನೇ ಒಂದು ಕೋಶವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಗೂಡನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯವಾಗಿ, ಚಲನೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಆಹಾರವಿಲ್ಲದೆ, ಯಾವುದೂ ಮಾಡದೆ ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಮರ ಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಆ ಗೂಡು, ಆ ಕೋಶ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಒಡೆದು ಆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮೊದಲು ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ಹುಳು ಅಥವಾ ಕೀಟ ತಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಭ್ರಮರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹಾರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಗಿಡಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಡಿನ ಹತ್ತಿರ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡುವಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಷಯ, ಉಳಿದವರು ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯ. ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಏಕನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ಭ್ರಮರವನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಕೀಟ, ಆ ಹುಳು ತಾನಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೀಟ ಹೋಗಿ ಭ್ರಮರವಾಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಹೊಂದಿ ಆ ಭ್ರಮರ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾರಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಭ್ರಮರ ಕೀಟ ನ್ಯಾಯ. ಕ್ರಿಯಾಂತರಾಸಕ್ತಿಮಪಾಸ್ಯ ಕೀಟಕೋ ಧ್ಯಾಯನ್ ಫಲಿತ್ವಂ ಯಲಿಭಾವಮೃಚ್ಛತಿ ತಥೈವ ಯೋಗಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮತತ್ವಂ ಧ್ಯಾತ್ವಾ ಸಮಾಯಾತಿ ತದೇಕನಿಷ್ಠಯಾ. Now Acharya is the same example he is explaining. Priyantarasaktimapasya kitako dhyayan malitvam alibhavamruchyati tathaiva yogi paramatmatattvam dhyatva samayati tadekanishthaya. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಕ್ರಿಮಿ, ಈ ಹುಳು ಭ್ರಮರ ಭಾವವನ್ನೇ ಕುರಿತು ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ತನ್ನ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನೂ ತ್ಯಜಿಸಿ, ತನ್ನ ಓಡಾಟವನ್ನೂ ತ್ಯಜಿಸಿ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ತನ್ನದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಕೋಶವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡು ಭ್ರಮರ ಧ್ಯಾನವನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಆ ಭ್ರಮರ ಭಾವವನ್ನೇ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆಯೋ, ಮುಂದೊಂದು ದಿವಸ ಕೋಶ ಒಡೆದು ಆ ಕೀಟ ತಾನಾಗಿಯೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೀಟದ ರೂಪ ಹೋಗಿ ಭ್ರಮರದ ರೂಪ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಚಿಟ್ಟೆಯ ರೂಪ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಒಡೆದಾಗ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರೋದು ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಕೀಟ, ಹುಳು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಪಾಟ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನ ಜೀವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಟಮಾರ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ರೂಪಾಂತರ. ದೇಹವೇ ರೂಪಾಂತರ ಆಯಿತು. ಹುಳು ಹೋಗಿ ಭ್ರಮರವಾಯಿತು, ಹುಳು ಹೋಗಿ ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ಆಯಿತು ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುವ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಕೇವಲ ತಾನು ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ತಾನು ಹುಳು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಭ್ರಮರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಚಿಟ್ಟೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕೃತ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೋಶಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೀಟ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ? ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ? ಒಂದು ಹುಳು ತಾನಾಗಿ ಗೂಡು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ಗೂಡು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವೇ? ಎಂದೋ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಗೂಡು ಒಡೆದಾಗ ಕೀಟ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ ತನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯವಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಂತರ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಅಪಾಸ್ಯ ಕೀಟಕಃ. ಅಪಾಸ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ, ತನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯನಾಗಿ, ನಿಶ್ಚಲನಾಗಿ, ಏಕ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಉಳ್ಳವನಾಗಿ ಅಂತಹ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹುಳು, ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕೀಟ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಚಿಂತೆ, ಏಕಚಿಂತೆ, ತಾನು ಭ್ರಮರ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಚಿಟ್ಟೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಚಿಂತೆ, ಏಕಾಗ್ರತೆ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಏಕಾಗ್ರತೆ, ಮನೋಶಕ್ತಿ, ಮನೋನಿರ್ಧಾರ. ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಏಕಾಗ್ರತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಏಕಾಗ್ರತೆಯ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ಅದು ಭ್ರಮರವಾಗಿ ಬಂತು, ಚಿಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂತು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಯೋಗಿ ತಥಾ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವಂ ಧ್ಯಾತ್ವ ಸಮಾಯಾತಿ ತದೇಕ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯ ಧ್ಯಾತ್ವ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವಂ ಸಮಾಯಾತಿ. ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಯೋಗಿಯಾದವನು, ಯತಿಯಾದವನು, ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು, ಸರ್ವಸಂಪನ್ನನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ತಿಳಿದವನು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಏಕನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ, ತದೇಕ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕೃತ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಆಳವಾದ ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏಕನಿಷ್ಠಾ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ತಾನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನೇ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ ರೂಪವನ್ನೇ ಆತ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So in this example, further explanation Acharya is giving. Just like the worm, the larva, the caterpillar, which will eat voraciously when it comes out from the egg case, after feeding and enlarging, and finally it stops feeding, it stops moving. Its actions are stopped, feeding is stopped. It covers itself by its own cocoon, pupa, pupal state as it is called. The larva, the caterpillar, produces the secretions around its body. From its own body, secretions come out, and a egg case or a cocoon or a pupa is developed. And in that state, inside, it is completely a closed chamber. Pupa or the cocoon is a closed chamber where the larva or the caterpillar is inside. What is happening inside? We don't, Acharya says. It remains motionless. It remains without any feeding. Totally, the metabolic level activity has come to almost zero. It remains just like a comatose condition, just like a dead animal inside that cocoon. It may be for a few days, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on the species of the butterfly or the moth or the insect. Finally, one fine day, the cocoon breaks open, the egg case breaks open, the pupa breaks open. Then what we see? Earlier we saw the larva, caterpillar, with particular shape and size, horrific shape, horrific size, not very enchanting to look at. Now that is gone. A beautiful butterfly will come out and it will fly away. When the pupa breaks, when the egg case breaks, so there is a transformation. So the larva, the caterpillar, which looks ugly, now has transformed itself into a most mesmerizing, beautiful butterfly with colorful wings, and it flies out. Every child, everyone likes to touch a butterfly, look at a butterfly with various shapes and sizes and the designs on the wings. Correct? And everybody despises by the very look of the larva or the caterpillar. Some of the caterpillars, for example, you look at the monarch butterfly, a big one. The caterpillar, the larva of the monarch butterfly, has got long hairs on the body. It's a blackish in color, that caterpillar, with the hairs protruding all around the body. It's very ugly looking. Children are afraid even to come near. Even the elderly people are afraid to come near such a larva with hairs, black hairs. So such a ugly larva, the worm, transforms into a beautiful butterfly. And Acharya says here, when it stops feeding, it stops moving, totally its activities are totally shut. It is only thinking, it is only thinking, it is only thinking, it is only thinking that I should become the butterfly, that particular variety, that particular species from which it has taken the birth. I should become like my father, my mother, butterfly. So by constant repeated thinking, one-pointed concentration, it will ultimately transform into butterfly. A beautiful example. Acharya has picked up such a wonderful example to denote. So by just like that, tathaiva yogi paramatma tattvam dhyatva samayati tadeka nishtaya. In the same way, a yogi, a well-qualified, learned fellow, a mumukshu, jijnasu, after stopping all his action, stopping all the activities, controlling all the senses, withdrawing all his sense organs by uparati, becoming shanta and dantaha, controlling senses and controlling the mind, sits firmly, daily, routinely in dhyana with one-pointed concentration. Yes, I am that Brahmaswarup. I am no more the body. My Sadguru has advised me, the Upadesha, I am no more the body. So when he sits and contemplates constantly, one day he will attain that Brahma Bhava only. He will lose his identity as an individual human being with a name and a status. The ahankara is gone, ego is gone, mind is destroyed, and ultimately the beatific state of Antaryami, Pratyagatma, will shine. He will merge in the colloquial language. He will merge into Brahman and he becomes a jnani himself. He realizes himself. He becomes a Paramajnani himself. So that is the point. With Guru Sankalpa, we will stop here. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Hari Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om, sir. Beautiful. Now we have come to the crux of Samadhi and the description, which is very, 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 very engaging.
It is going on. Still we are diving deep. Yeah, it is going on by the grace of Bhagavatpada. I hope grace is there.
Thank you, sir.